Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Gayle Carson. Welcome to Living Regret Free, a program that shows you how to live a better and more joyful life. As an added bonus, I invite you to listen to an introduction to my Mindset Matters program, which ties into this so well. Go to www.sobmindset.com. It's free, and I know you will enjoy it. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at gaylecarson13@gmail.com or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter. My guest today is Abby Rohrer, and Abby is a master healer, karma, and anxiety expert with her own healing technology and a certified big money business coach. She works with business owners and entrepreneurs to free them from money, sales, and success karma, blocks, and fears, and teaches people worldwide how to self-heal their karma and anxiety so they can achieve their dreams and thrive in business and in life. Welcome, Abby.
Thanks so much, Gayle. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, I know you're the founder of Clear Your Money Karma, and that always just intrigues me when someone is a healer and a karma and anxiety expert, and we're talking about money. So I always think that, wow, that's an interesting combination. So tell us first, about yourself, how you got started in this work, and who you work with.
Sure. Well, I originally got started in this work because in 2009, I had been working with women around the world who were suffering with compulsion and anxiety. And I had developed a curriculum years before to help them to heal. And they were getting results, but their results were, they were slower than I had hoped. And also it was hard. That's hard work. And so I literally asked God for better, faster ways to help them to heal. And also, I was on a healing journey. So I was looking for better, faster ways to help myself. And I was intuitively shown how to, I was intuitively given an energy healing method, the method that I use today. And I was shown how to use it. And I was taken through an inner process internally for almost a decade to learn how to use various aspects of the work that I do.
Wow, amazing. So when you you build yourself as this Clear Your Money karma, tell us what that means. What does money karma really mean?
Okay, great. Thanks so much for that question, because it is, I think it is something that is not a common term, right? So I work with entrepreneurs now. I transitioned into working with entrepreneurs, and so I look at their businesses through a lens that has to do with, what's blocking their money, right? What's blocking them from growing their business? And to me, karma, what I've been shown is that karma are emotional energies from any time before now that are stuck to us on a soul level. And they're energies of, they're really emotional energies of shame and guilt and grief and sometimes resentment or lack of forgiveness or wanting someone to pay for, something they did to us in the past. And so I'm often shown the past is literally before this lifetime.
That's interesting. So, I guess I would ask you, everybody always seems to have money on their mind. What are some of the common problems that you see that show people have money karma? Because I know, in fact, I don't even remember. I think it was a very well-to-do person who said, no matter how much money you have, you never think you have enough. And no matter how much money you have, there were always money issues. So tell us about this money karma.
Sure. So, some of the things that people come to me for are, they've been in business for a while. They have had success. They have been able to make sales and generate business, but for some reason, suddenly their money gets stuck, or they just can't grow their business past a certain level, or suddenly now they have anxiety. Maybe they've been speaking on stage for years, but suddenly they've got tons of anxiety and they literally have a panic attack when they try to go on stage. So those are all kinds of things that that people with money karma struggle with, because all those things impact their ability to feel at ease and knowing they can generate the money that they either need or that they want to make, and have the impact that they want to make on the world.
So I know that in many situations people blame their past, or they blame their parents, or they blame how they grew up. And I'm very thankful that I grew up with no money, but loving parents who were, just great to me as far as guiding lights. So does someone's childhood contribute to negative money karma?
Sure. Our childhoods contribute to all kinds of things, and they absolutely, contribute to money karma in a lot of different ways. So sometimes, someone might be carrying money karma that I call marital money karma, which is something that had to do with the dynamic between their parents around money in childhood. Sometimes people are have taken on energies like that. Or sometimes there was some kind of trauma or wound, or hurt feelings that they're still holding on to resentment about, right? And that they unconsciously are blaming themselves for carrying. And so that limits their ability to feel like they're good enough. It limits, it causes them to feel unconscious shame. And it causes them sometimes to block money or not be able to receive, the love and support that they need to move their business forward.
That's interesting, because I know that when I was a kid, in fact, I found, people got all kinds of presents. I used to get one present for an event, if it was a holiday or something. And I banked 10 cents when everybody else was banking a quarter. And, there was just, but I didn't put two and two together or think I was deprived of anything, because even we never got TV till much later than most people. And one of my girlfriends who was pretty wealthy had a TV set, so I used to go over every Tuesday night to see Milton Berle, and I never really thought much about it. But I've always been good at saving and managing money and things like that. And I guess that's a leftover from growing up, not having any. But how does money karma show up in selling or contributing to sales anxieties?
Yeah, so money karma contributes a lot to sales anxiety as I see it, because the sales process, many people struggle with sales. There are so many sales trainings out there, and sometimes people take lots of trainings and they don't help. In fact, sometimes they make it worse. So when there's money karma, a lot of times what happens is people start to practice a sales script or whatever, and it doesn't help. In fact, it makes it worse. Their anxiety gets greater. So just to explain, karma, it bleeds through into our lives, and it really bleeds through physically into the nervous system. And so what happens is that the person logically, thinks, oh, I can make a sale. Lots of people sell. It's no problem. But what happens is their body actually kind of hijacks the sales call. So, or they might hijacks in a way where the person might feel like their power center drops out, or their stomach starts to feel really tight and uncomfortable, and they can't focus on the sales call. Or they might feel like they become 3 years old when they try to sell, or when they try to invite someone into a sales conversation. So it money karma can really impact the sales process in so many different ways. They might, when it comes time to talk about their fees, their throat may freeze, right? Or get really sore and they just can't get the words out. Or if somebody has an objection, they just choke. They can't even respond.
It's so funny because I've always thought of karma as, well, I get something positive, but I guess it could be positive or negative.
Yeah, I have kind of a different definition of karma than a lot of other people, than is common, I guess. My definition of karma came through my experience, that internal training that I went through. And I tend to see positive karma, what we call good karma, as just the absence of negative karma. So to me, when somebody says, oh, they have good karma, I see that as that the energies are in balance, and so there's nothing blocking them from getting the good stuff, right? From getting the stuff that feels good.
Yeah, because I can think now when you say that, I can think of people who say, "Oh, well, he's got bad karma, and it will come and punish him," or something like that. And other people would say, when good things happen, they'll say, "Ah, good karma. That's why this happened." But
Yeah.
what are some of the results you've helped people get?
Well, some of my clients, a number of my clients have been able to double or triple their fees, whereas before they just couldn't bring themselves. You know, uh, they just couldn't bring themselves to raise their rates, for example, or get their rates to a place where they were, um, they were getting they were charging the as much as the value that they brought. So that's one thing, that people have been able to really grow their businesses and raise their rates to a point where it's they're giving great value, but they're also getting paid well. So that's one thing. Another thing is that people have been able to break through their sales anxiety with ease, right? Or to get more visible in the marketplace. So sometimes people um, they're they they hide. They don't want to be seen, and they can't get themselves to be seen to their market. But there are other people who have been able to really break through in terms of they were always taking action, right? And they were always trying to be visible in the marketplace, but people just didn't notice them. So when you clear these energies, and when I have cleared these energies, then people get noticed, and they can, they can really make a much greater impact and grow their business to a much greater extent. So those are the kinds of wins that a lot of my clients have gotten.
So, when you think someone has money karma, or they think they have, what are some of the steps that you tell them to take? I mean, how do you clear them of this fear, and how do you get them to raise their rates?
Yeah, well, so one thing I always recommend is that somebody starts with taking my money karma quiz, and we can talk about how they can access that. But that's a great starting point because it takes them through a really fast series of questions and lets them know, provides them with a report and a range of where they fit in terms of having money karma. And then the next step past that I usually do with someone is, they ask for a money karma diagnosis from me. And that's when I do an in-depth analysis of their money karma. And I actually look at a whole bunch of different areas. So I'll look at, do they have a money ceiling? Do they have a ceiling that stops them from receiving? Or do they have ceilings in terms of customer numbers or things like that? Sometimes I will spot lineage money karma and on that. Through that analysis. And then I'm always given, a list of patterns. This is an intuitive diagnosis, and I'm given a list of patterns that are ready to be cleared right now. And I always look through the lens of a business lens. So I'm looking at confidence and influence and sales, revenue, and visibility challenges. And then when I work with someone, I am in a constant intuitive state with my spiritual guidance to basically clear every layer of a problem. So the healings are silent, but what I do first is I try to help them to check in with their bodies and get a sense of where they feel this in their body. So one thing somebody can do if they think they might have, an anxiety or a challenge that's limiting their money is the first thing I recommend is to really tune into your body, because I think we're so often trained to think that it's all in our heads. There's so much talk about getting your mindset right. And I find that only about, it's not all in our heads. Up to 80% of it can be coming in and bleeding into our nervous systems. So you can work on your mindset, forever, but these energies can't be cleared through working on your mindset. They literally have to be cleared and drained out of the body and out of the nervous system.
Well, I understand positive mindset very well because I practice it all the time. I'm not sure how I would clear my body. Now, I exercise a lot. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but tell us how you clear the body of anxiety.
Yeah, so I actually have a method that I teach people to clear. It's not something the average person can do. You need to be an energy healer to be able to clear it on that level. But I would love to share with your, with your listeners a very fast tip that they could clear for themselves.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I find with my clients is that in between the layers that I have to clear are often layers of energies, emotional energies, or feelings of restriction that don't belong to the person. In other words, they took on these energies at some point to try to unburden someone they loved. So it could be that someone who's stressed about sales is actually carrying energies that are stressing them that don't even belong to them. So I recommend this very fast process where you just basically ask your spirit to gather up all the energies about this challenge that don't belong to you and to compress them like into a ball or into a box. And it just takes a few seconds, just literally just a few seconds before people feel like, oh, they've got it. That process is complete. And then what I do is I recommend to them that they either, imagine themselves physically taking that ball or box and throwing it up to the sky or to the universe or to God, whatever they feel comfortable with, and saying out loud, "It is done." And when people do this, they find often that at least some portion, and sometimes all of these uncomfortable feelings can literally leave their bodies. So the negative energies will leave and leave them feeling calm. Now, some people have, other layers that can't be cleared like that and need a deeper solution. But that's a really fast process that people can use on their own, and it works.
Wow. Well, that would be interesting to see if our listeners can do something like that. But where would they go to get your quiz?
They can go to moneykarmaquiz.com and they'll have access to it immediately.
And that is money, M-O-N-E-Y, karma, K-A-R-M-A, quiz, Q-U-I-Z.com, right? moneykarmaquiz.com?
That's right.
And when they do that, Abby, what are some of the biggest ahas your clients have found from those?
Well, what's going to happen is they'll take the quiz and then they will get a report from me. in their email. And so some people have found that what they've been struggling with is actually coming from a different level, a level that they, I guess a level that there was no logical reason for them to feel that way. And they start to understand, probably the biggest ahas, they start to understand and connect the dots between how they're feeling and the lack of logic in the problem. So they've tried all the logical solutions, and now they understand why those logical solutions just didn't solve it.
Well, I guess if people can comprehend that and acknowledge it, which is the key, then that's half the battle right there. Why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with you? Because they go to the quiz to get the quiz, but how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so they can go to my website, and that's abbyrohrer.com. So that's ABBYROHRER.com. And there's a contact button right there. They can just pop me a little message, and we'll find a way to connect. So I'll respond to them, or my assistant will respond to them, and we'll continue the conversation from there.
Okay, folks. So now if you by the way, we need to make sure you understand it's Abby, ABBY, Rohrer, ROHRER.com. If they can really get a handle on their money issues by doing the quiz, that is something that would be incredible for many people, because many people, first of all, don't know how to handle money. Second of all, many people have a wrong feeling about money or wrong positioning about money. And so I would think it would be very valuable. But I guess, one of the things that I would be interested in is how did money become a part of your life?
Thanks for asking that. That's a great question. I honestly, I was working with women with compulsive behaviors and anxiety around the world. And when this healing method came to me, and basically over time, I started to see money wins in my clients. So they were having all kinds of like raises at their jobs, or they were just having success with bosses, with money wins in their jobs, and sometimes they were business owners. And so I started to see a trend, and one thing led to another, and I began to first of all, I was struggling myself in my own business with a lot of stuff that I didn't know how to fix. But I was an energy healer now. And so I began to understand, as I worked on my own money and my own business, how much of this stuff was coming into my nervous system and coming from my nervous system. And when I learned firsthand on myself how to clear that, and made the correlation between my clients' money wins, my own clearing, and the money wins and the ease that I started to move forward with. And it all kind of came together. And actually, Clear Your Money Karma was, it just came to me out of the blue one day when I was working with and supporting a coach who was giving a presentation. And it just came to me, and I kind of leaned over and said to her out of the blue, "Would you like me to offer a bonus to your audience to clear their money karma?" And I thought it was just a quiet moment between the two of us, and somebody at the other end of the room said, "We can't hear you." And she said, "Abby just offered to give you a bonus of clearing your money karma. Who's interested in that?" And a bunch of hands went up, and that was how it happened. That's how I began to transition into really working with the entrepreneurs and money.
Well, that's really interesting. So, folks, you're hearing it here. You can take advantage of it or not. You can go to the Money Karma Quiz .com and find out, where your hangups are, what you need, and you'll get a report back from Abby. You can go to her website, abbyrohrer.com, ROHRER.com, find out about her and what other things she has to offer. I think it's fantastic. I want to thank you, Abby, for being with us today. Hopefully our audience will take advantage of your generous offer, and good luck to you in the future.
Gayle, thanks so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. I choose my guests carefully, so if you have someone you'd like me to interview, please drop me a line at gaylecarson13@gmail.com. In the meantime, check out my intro program, Mindset Matters, at www.sobmindset.com. See you next week.